It was one of the biggest games of this year's college football season, and it happened at Autzen in Eugene.
Everyone's been happy and in a good mood. Obviously, we got both teams set up here, and everyone's rooting for both sides. Who's going to win back there? Nope, sorry.
They coming in red, but they leaving blue, because that's how we do.
Ducks versus Buckeyes. KGW News coming to you right as the game wraps up. And thanks for joining us on this special edition of KGW News. I'm John Adams. Huge game between Oregon and Ohio State. We just watched it wrap up. What a finish to the game.
We have this big screen, what we call the 9 panel. We were both watching it, going basically they're exchanging touchdown after touchdown, some field goals versus field goals over the last 6-7 minutes of the game, and probably one of the most exciting finishes at Autzen. And yeah, the highlights are going to be incredible to see. But looking at the forecast, if you were down at Autzen or anywhere outside today, we saw some incredible conditions. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes.
Absolutely, and we're going to go now to Art Edwards. Art, what an amazing game. Great plays in the matchup tonight.
Boy, I tell you what, that is one of the best college football games I have ever seen in my life. What a great day of college football in Eugene, Oregon. The Oregon-Ohio State matchup, it had a little bit of everything, and it lived up to its billing. Perfect day at Autzen Stadium for that massive matchup of two top 5 teams. 4 lead changes in the first half alone. Oregon took the lead late in the first half. Dylan Gabriel connects with Tez Johnson for 48 yards right there for the score. Oregon up 22-21 at the half, but you know what? It didn't stop there, because in the second half it was just as wild. More lead changes. Early in the fourth quarter, Dylan Gabriel with a huge play. Kept the ball, went 27 yards for the score, 29-28 Oregon. But they weren't done then. Ohio State was able to get a field goal to take the lead. Then Atticus Sappington nailed a 19-yarder to put Oregon on top. Ohio State, though, still had 1:47 left on the clock to try to get themselves into field goal position. They moved the ball some, but then the Oregon defense came up with the big play. Will Howard, he ran for it, slid, time ran out. As he did that, the defense held. Oregon wins it 32-31, the final score. Second game this season that Atticus Sappington has kicked the game-winning field goal. Epic win for the Oregon Ducks. We're going to have more on the game a little bit later, including a live report from Orlando Sanchez. Boy, what a football game.
What a game, Art. That is right. Thank you, Art Edwards. And transitioning now to weather. I was down in Eugene yesterday. Beautiful down there. Beautiful tonight for the game. You can see a live look over Portland tonight. Beautiful here as well. Perfect football weather. Let's bring in meteorologist Joe Ranieri. It's been fantastic outside.
Not just for today, but pretty much every weekend so far this October, we've seen beautiful conditions. And we saw that last weekend, and we're seeing it this weekend. And it's going to continue heading into Sunday. As we take a peek from our Wells Fargo Tower camera, we're looking at a temperature of 65 degrees with some clear skies. Those clear skies will carry over into the overnight hours, but because of not much cloud cover, we will be seeing some patchy areas of fog develop at times throughout the coast and into the valley. Currently, we're looking at readings in the upper 50s to low 60s. Out there along Highway 26 toward the coast, temperatures are in the mid 50s. Along the beaches right now, right around the upper 50s to low 60s up and down the Oregon coastline. So gorgeous fall weather continues into Sunday, staying sunny and warm for Sunday, but I am tracking a more typical fall weather forecast that really starts to arrive by Monday afternoon and really throughout much of next week. Currently, though, we do have some watches and warnings. It's that air quality alert that's really been kind of popping up over the last couple of months throughout parts of Lynn and Lane County and over into Bend and Redmond. So tomorrow morning, we'll wake up to areas of fog. Temperatures is in the low 50s. By midday, 58 degrees on our way to a high of 76 degrees. I'll talk more about the changes and what that means for the valley, but especially what it means through the Oregon Cascades by later part of next week. That detailed forecast is coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Joe, we'll see you later in the show.
I'm still not believing that he is really gone, because everybody did genuinely care about Liam.
Students at a Vancouver area high school are grieving after a student athlete passed away in his sleep earlier this week. Our Sydney Dorner spoke with his teammates hours before they honored his life at their football game this afternoon.
William Sloan, also known as Liam, was a junior here at Skyview High School in Vancouver. His friends say he was much more than a lineman, but a phenomenal student, hard worker, and a loyal friend. Football players at Skyview High said they've had their fair share of ups and downs so far this season, always uplifted by William Sloan, a key part of their offensive line.
He'd always show excitement, big smile. I'd go throw a touchdown, I'd go give everybody high fives, and he'd come up and just give me a big hug.
This week, they lost their brother William, who they called Liam.
It was definitely surreal, just caught us all off guard.
Coaches announced Friday on social media he had died in his sleep, possibly from natural causes, despite seeming perfectly normal at practice the day before he passed.
Just seemed like every other day. He was performing pretty well.
Devastating Aiden Cedarstrom, who was a family friend to Liam and his right-hand man on the field.
It felt like a bad dream or something like that. And I remember showing it to my dad, and he just stood there. He sat there in silence for a long time.
Around 200 people from the Vancouver community showed up to pay respect to Sloan's young life with a candlelight vigil Friday. Teammates say they're going to play even harder in his memory.
The intensity that he put in on an everyday basis, and hopefully that pushes our team to perform better throughout the year.
Honoring his life at the Saturday game while also mourning his death.
And now, a moment of silence.
It won't ever feel the same. It won't ever feel right. It just feels like we're going to miss the heart and soul of our football team, man.
Sydney Dorner, KGW News.
Well, an update to a shooting investigation in North Portland. Police say a man who was shot earlier this month died after 5 days in the hospital. Around 5:45 on Friday, October the 4th, officers were called to a crash at Northeast MLK and Columbia Boulevard. There, they say 38-year-old Anthony Bell had been shot while in his car. Bell died in the hospital on Wednesday. The suspect or suspects left before police got to the scene. New tonight, Portland police continue to investigate a shooting that left 2 people hurt. Those victims called 911 just after 9 last night after their car was shot along Northeast 66th and Tillamook. They were taken to the hospital and are expected to survive. So far, no arrests have been made. And police in Vancouver want you to keep an eye out for this man who they say allegedly shouted racial slurs at someone, punched them in the face, and then ran away. The department says they know who the man is, but so far have not been able to find him. It's one of Portland's more recent annual events, and it was inspired by climate change. Earlier today at Glenfair Park, the city's urban forestry team held its annual Arbor Day celebration. Arbor Day is typically observed in April, but since 2018, the city's been holding this event in October. It says Portland's hot, dry summers have made it difficult for trees planted in April to survive. Doing it now helps ensure they'll grow to expand the city's canopy cover where it's needed most, like Glenfair Park.
We're planting 10 trees here, a diverse collection of trees as well, to bring some greater shade and environmental and public health services to this neighborhood.
After the community tree planting, they held a celebration which included music, food, games, even rides in their bucket trucks. Through the end of the year, the city is also giving away free trees for your yard. You can find details on our website, kgw.com. Another celebration today in eastern Multnomah County. The Corbett Fire Department opened its doors to the public as it celebrated 75 years of serving the community. For its birthday gift, the department unveiled its new water tender, which it received through a grant by the State Fire Marshal's Office. It was previously used earlier in the year to respond to some of the larger wildfires in Oregon.
It's been all over the state this summer, and we're happy to have it. It not only makes a difference here locally, it makes a difference with having those strategically placed around the state. So we couldn't be happier with it.
And of course, it isn't a birthday celebration without a hamburger cookout, firehouse chili, and birthday cake. We have a traffic alert for you tonight. Within the last hour, road crews were scheduled to start more paving work on the Morrison Bridge. Tonight through about 6 tomorrow morning, there will be occasional lane and ramp closures that will cause traffic delays. So you'll want to consider taking a different bridge across the Willamette if you're heading anywhere overnight. And don't forget, you will be able to hear from the top 5 candidates for Portland's mayor right here on KGW in the coming week. Join us in the Oregonian for the debate Tuesday at 6:30. You can watch it live here on KGW or streaming on our KGW Plus app. Well, coming up, pressure grows amid the Boeing machinist strike, the plane maker's latest announcement that's expected to strain those on the picket lines. Plus, the chef behind a beloved Portland food cart hospitalized after he suffers a serious hiking injury. Hear from Jeff Chow and the people rallying behind his recovery. Welcome back on this special edition of KGW News. Let's take a look at your national headlines. People in Florida continue to pick up the pieces as they face a continued threat following Hurricane Milton. River levels are still rising, increasing the flood threat throughout the weekend. At least 17 people are confirmed dead in the hurricane's aftermath. And as of this evening, more than 1 million people are still without power. A disgraced U.S. Army soldier who was caught offering to help terrorists in the Middle East is sentenced to 14 years in prison. Court documents say Cole Bridges, also known as Cole Gonzalez, began researching terrorist propaganda online and promoting jihadist ideology on social media before he joined the Army in 2019. He began communicating with the undercover FBI agent posing as an ISIS supporter, even offering instructions on how best to attack U.S. forces in the Middle East. The 24-year-old from Ohio pleaded guilty last year. On the campaign trail, Vice President Kamala Harris released a summary of her medical records today. That report from White House physician Joshua Simmons deemed her to be a healthy 59-year-old female, the only notable medical history being seasonal allergies and hives. In a statement, Trump's campaign spokesperson said the former president has released updates from his personal physician that says he is in, quote, excellent health. The 78-year-old has not released a full medical report. The Boeing machinist strike approaches the 1-month mark. The company announced Friday 17,000 workers will soon be laid off. The news is causing concern on both the picket line and throughout the community surrounding Boeing's Everett plant. Our Seattle sister station brings us the latest.
On the 29th day of the Boeing machinist strike, bad news reached the picket line.
They can do whatever they want, which they have been doing.
Leo Reed standing in solidarity outside Boeing's Renton facility after CEO Kelly Ortberg announced about 17,000 workers will be laid off, 10% of the workforce.
It's not like a huge concern of mine. And I think the major concern for us is what we're striking for.
These machinists focused more on their nearly month-long battle over pay, but layoffs could be troubling.
It's disappointing, but I am hopeful.
Renton City Council member Kim Convon worries about the community impact.
That translates to the local economy. how much they can spend in our local businesses.
It's really not too much of a surprise. We knew that Boeing was on a pace to have to take some kind of drastic action.
Analysts like Scott Hamilton point out the billions of dollars in losses over the last few years.
I don't doubt that the strike has accelerated anything that Ortberg might have been thinking about anyway. It's just real clear that Boeing needs a top-to-bottom restructuring.
Earlier this week, Boeing withdrew its latest offer to the machinists.
It's kind of laughable, like how it was presented.
And so the strike continues.
I don't want to be out here. No one wants to be on the picket line. I think it's important to show, that we mean business.
Union workers like Reed prepared to stick it out.
As long as it takes, that's what's been saying, right? As long as it takes.
All right, turning now to weather. We touched on it earlier. We've had unbelievable weather so far this fall, but it's all going to be coming to an end.
Yeah, I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I think this is the time of fall and really one of the best times of the year for weather. We kind of been lucky here. This happened last year too. We had a couple of days with temperatures, 80 or above, and we've seen it earlier this year. Earlier this month. I'm not expecting to see 80s heading into the next couple of days. We'll get close to it potentially if you want to call 4 degrees close to it. But here's a look at your forecast for tomorrow. 76 degrees is what I'm going with. Once we get past some patchy morning fog, we're going to be seeing a gorgeous Sunday afternoon. Now, we stay sunny and warm tomorrow, and this potentially could be our last sunny and warm day, at least for a bit. I don't want to say for, the rest of fall, because there's a chance we could be seeing, look at long-range models, still looking at some pleasant conditions ahead. Fall weather arrives next week, and we could be looking at some low snow elevations as well. We're talking about right around that 4,500 foot level. Some heavy snow up in the mountains is in the forecast, but this ridge of high pressure is going to hold strong for one more day as it pushes off to the east. We're going to be ushering in some changes really come Monday afternoon and into a good portion of next week. So here's a look at the futurecast. We'll put this into motion, waking up to some morning clouds, some patchy areas of fog, but heading into the later part of the afternoon, we are going to be seeing some, a lot of sunshine. And then going into Monday, the start of the work week starts off pretty dry, and then by late morning, early part of the afternoon, we will be seeing the showers increase, and those showers really start to pick up heading into Wednesday. Tuesday will be kind of a cool and cloudy day, but as we look at the rainfall amounts, this is pretty impressive. So by Monday night and all the way into the middle part of the week, at least to the end of Wednesday, we could be looking at close to 2/3 of an inch of rain falling. So it's been a while since we've had a good soak, and yeah, we're going to be seeing it heading into next week. This is also probably the greatest time of the year to see some good fall colors pop. We're not reaching peak just yet, but if you'll notice throughout locations near Bend and Redmond throughout Central Oregon that you're reaching your peak, and here on the west side of the state, reaching peak foliage doesn't come for another week or so. As we look at what we've seen so far this month, absolutely gorgeous. By my count, we've had 2 days with temperatures 80 or above. I don't think we're going to be seeing that anytime soon. We topped out at 77 degrees today, and so far the wettest day we've seen, or the only wet day we've seen so far this month, was on October 4th. Since then, been dry as a bone, but like I said, that's going to be changing over the next few days. Morning clouds along the Oregon coast tomorrow. Afternoon sunshine with daytime highs really nice, right around the mid to the upper 60s. Here in the valley, morning fog, afternoon sunshine throughout wine country, but again, we're going to be seeing a repeat performance in terms of conditions heading into Sunday afternoon with a lot of sunshine throughout the coast, the valley, and into eastern Oregon as well. Mostly sunny skies over in Baker City and Burns. Temperatures close to 80. But it is going to be kind of a cool start with temperatures just above freezing tomorrow morning. Mostly sunny skies throughout the Oregon Cascades and the high country. Government Camp, a daytime high close to 70 degrees, and throughout central Oregon, mostly sunny and nice. Again, you have that air quality alert in place throughout parts of the central and eastern side of the state. Throughout the Climb River Gorge, sunny skies with temperatures in the mid to the upper 70s. So tomorrow morning, there will be some areas of fog to start things off. Those low clouds burn off pretty quick by the early part of the afternoon, close to 60 with a daytime high of 76 degrees. And on the 7-day forecast, 76 tomorrow, 65 on Monday with those showers moving in by the later part of the afternoon. Kind of cool and showery at times for Tuesday, but I think the heavier amounts of rain won't be arriving until Wednesday and into the later part of next week. John?
All right, Joe, thank you. Well, the big game between Oregon and Ohio State wrapped up about 20 minutes ago with the Ducks coming out on top with a huge win. The teams trading the lead nearly the entire game. Let's get to Orlando Sanchez, who is live in Eugene tonight. Orlando, what a game. How's the energy in the stadium right now?
John, I just got to say, it has been pure pandemonium. The fans have been going crazy. Of course, they rushed the field after a 32-31 victory in favor of the Oregon Ducks, a dramatic game that came down to the final plays. Oregon's defense comes up with a stand with the game on the line. Just a magical night here, dubbed as one of the biggest games in Autzen Stadium history, the first ever top 3 matchup, and the Oregon Ducks prevail. John, if there were 2 things we learned tonight, number 1, Oregon knows how to throw a party. They set an attendance record tonight. Autzen Stadium saw more than 60,000 fans tonight, more fans than it has ever seen, living up to the billing. The other thing that we learned tonight about this game, Oregon Ducks belong as one of the premier programs this year, setting the stage for national championship hopes. Now undefeated, handing Ohio State its first loss of the season. We are going to have so much from this game, but we finally have signal here on the field after what was just a scene. So much chaos on the field, tears of joy, people screaming, hugging, and cheering like they never have before for a regular season game. An amazing atmosphere, an amazing night to be a part of here in Eugene. We've got to call a timeout, but more sports coming up on the other side with Art Edwards.
Orlando was able to survive the pandemonium after the game. What a day of college football in Eugene. Oregon, Ohio State, that matchup had a little bit of everything and lived up to the billing. Perfect day at Autzen Stadium for a massive matchup between 2 top 5 teams. 4 lead changes in the first half, 7 throughout the game. Oregon took the lead late in the first half. Dylan Gabriel connects with Tez Johnson, 48 yards for the score. Oregon up 22-21 at the half. In the second half, more of the same, more lead changes. Early in the fourth quarter, Dylan Gabriel with a huge play. He keeps the ball, goes 27 yards for the score, 29-28 Oregon. Now, Ohio State got a field goal to take the lead, but Atticus Sappington, he stepped up, nailed a 19-yarder to put Oregon on top by just a point. Ohio State still had a minute 47 left on the clock, though, but Oregon's defense was up to the task. They were able to hold on. Will Howard, last play of the game, he starts to scramble. He goes down on the field as time expired. The Ducks held, the defense held, 32-31. Oregon wins the ball game. An epic win for Oregon. You know what, we're going to have more on this game later on. Orlando is getting the chance to talk to some of the players and the coaches, and we'll have that for you tonight at 11 o'clock. All right. More football from the state of Oregon. Oregon State Beavers in action this afternoon. They were on the road against Nevada, a game they thought they probably would win. Perfect day for some football in Reno, Nevada. The Beavers, they ended up with a battle on their hands with the Wolfpack. Anthony Hankerson, 18 yards for the touchdown run late in the first half to give the Beavers a 17-14 lead at the break. In the second half, the Beavers were able to extend the lead to 10 points on another Hankerson touchdown run. But the Wolfpack responded in this one, and they took a 35-24 lead. The Beavers came back, Hankerson with another score to pull the Beavers to within 5 points. But Nevada seals the deal with a long touchdown run. This was 67 yards late in the fourth quarter. A surprise Reno Wolfpack beat the Beavers 42-37, the final score. Hey, Portland State finally gets in the win column. Dante Sacheret, he went off against Idaho State. He had a 62-yard rushing touchdown, another long touchdown run. Portland State got the winner in the fourth quarter on a touchdown pass from Sacheret to Eric Denham. He had over 200 yards rushing and 200 yards passing. Vikings beat Idaho State 42-38. John?
All right, Art, thank you. Well, the owner of the popular Mama Chow's Kitchen food cart is recovering in the hospital after he suffered a serious fall while on a hike in the gorge. Tim Gordon has the story.
You may recognize Jeff Chow and his food truck, previously in downtown, now in southeast Portland. Mama Chow's Kitchen has become a go-to spot for those who love the wings, the noodles, and the dumplings. And Jeff.
And I didn't know what to feel. I didn't believe what was going on, but I was in pain.
But right now, Mama Chow's is closed, and the much-loved chef is in the emergency surgery recovery unit at OHSU. Jeff took a serious fall on Tuesday while taking friends for a hike to Waclella Falls in the gorge. He fell 10 feet, landing headfirst on a rock outcropping.
I don't remember much of the fall. I just remember waking up on the rocks and just people were calling my name.
Jeff is doing remarkably well, considering he suffered a depressed skull fracture that required surgery on Wednesday. He also has 6 badly broken ribs and a fractured shoulder blade, too. True to his nature, after regaining consciousness, friends say the first thing he was concerned about was his dog and his customers. Cart and catering responsibilities are obviously on hold for now, with Jeff's loved ones rallying to support a man known for his great spirit, amazing food, and efforts to help others in any way possible. But first, a likely lengthy road of healing and recovery so he can cook for his customers and friends again.
I don't cook for any other reason. I just hope to make someone's day with a meal, and the fact that people are just showing so much support and love, it means a lot to me.
And we wish him a continued recovery. All right, more football coverage coming tonight. What's Orlando bringing us back for 11?
Well, he's going to be on the way right now to talk to coaches and players about this just incredible win. So we'll have that at 11.
We were watching it as it all wrapped up. What an incredible finish to the game.
Yeah, just see all the excitement from the players and the coaches. Looking forward to seeing that at 11 o'clock.